Hi everyone, welcome to this Ask Me Any Stocks live show. I think some of you have already joined us and you're early. If you guys can see me and you can hear us as well, hear me as well, just type GM for good morning, all right, so that we can acknowledge all of you for just being early today. Thank you so much. Just type GM. I think some of you have already joined us. Hi Ray. Good morning. Hi, good morning Ray as well. I think some of you are already typing in the chat the stocks that you want covered as well. You might have joined us in the previous session, so you know how this session goes. All right, good to have you here as well, Pauline. Just type a good morning, all right, or type a one in chat, guys, so that we know this is working. Good to see. I think a lot of faces we have as well. Hi, Edwin, Jessica, Lance, Crystal. Awesome. Thank you so much as well. Doris. Hi, Stephen. Okay, thank you so much. Good to see you guys over here. And welcome to this session called the Ask Me Any. Today, we're doing Singapore, right? We're doing Singapore stocks. So what happens, guys, we have, decided to do this every week on a Friday at 10:30 a.m. And, just last week on Friday, we did the US market, right? So this week will be Singapore market. And maybe next week will be US, right? So we just alternate, right? Singapore, US. And that's what we'll do, all right? So that we'll add more value to you guys, all right? So I think some of you could already be clients of mine in Philips Security. So if I do get some ideas by WhatsApp, some of you might be just scrolling through YouTube, and we're live on Facebook as well, all right? And you just want a quick opinion on the market or some stocks that you're holding on, and that's where you can actually type it in the chat, and we'll do our best to cover and give you a quick opinion on the stocks, right? Based on my one good trend strategy, right? And also, more importantly, what it says on my one good trend, the one GT Pro indicator that I have, right? That, within seconds, it can give you an opinion, all right? Whether is it to buy, to sell, just based on the bullish or the bearish signals. How about that, right? So that's exactly what we'll cover. We look at it from your stocks as well. All right, good morning, Savaraju, David, Alex, hi, awesome. I think a lot of you are slowly joining us. Would it be okay, guys, if you just help us to click the like and the share button? Help us click the like, share button. All right, there should be some heart-shaped button as well. I'm not too sure whether you guys are saying this. Thank you so much for all the hearts and stuff, all right? Look at this right over here. All right, so yeah, click on the heart-shaped button, share as well, so that and more importantly, all right, there should be a notification bar. I'm not too sure whether it's on the right and stuff. Click on the notification bar, subscribe, all right, so that when we go live in the future, you will be notified as well. Hi, Andy, good to see you here as well. All right, thank you. Hi, Carol. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's get started, right? So basically, if you're new to this session, right, what we'll do is that we'll do a quick market outlook. At first, today, we are looking at the Singapore market, all right, and we'll do a quick look at the STI, the Straits Times Index, and also we will cover the stocks that you guys want, right? So later, that's where you can type the names of the Singapore stocks that you want in the chat, all right, and then we'll just go through one by one, all right? So I have my team right over here as well, all right, Bervyn and Zee, who will join me in this Ask Me Any Stocks live shows going forward. They have joined me the past few times already, all right? And essentially, at the end of this live show, right, today Singapore, right? So at the end of this live show, each of us, it used to be just me, right? But now I think a lot of people have requested for, Bervyn and Zee to also share their stocks that they like as well, the bonus stock, right? So each of us will share one bonus stock that is in our watch list. We could have taken a position on it, and you might want to put them in your watch list as well. So there's like three of us, so there's like three bonus stocks. We need to update this on slide, right? So there's like three bonus stocks at the end, all right, that will be shared with you guys. All right, sounds good. Just type a two guys in the chat if you're ready to get started. Right, before I will just introduce my team, just type 2 in chat. Okay, so let's see. I think some of you are already typing, Jessica, why sets dropped so much? Or maybe we can find out later by looking at the chart. All right. Okay, let's go. Okay, so basically, I have with me Bervyn and Zee over here. So Bervyn has been with me for more than 5 years already, all right, as a top tier broker under me in Philips Security as well. And Bervyn is actually a chartered financial analyst. For those of you who are in the financial or the banking industry, CFA, right, that is one of the most highest qualification one can ever get in this field, all right. And yeah, so Bervyn has been with me. They're doing all the group coaching session with my mentees, basically assisting our portfolio manager a team as well for our managed account service. So that's Bervyn. Maybe Bervyn, just great to say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Glad to be here again. I see some familiar names, Alex. Hi, Alex. Really very happy to be here to share, some insights with everybody. We can have a bit of a discussion. Put in your stocks that you want later that you want us to talk about in the chat, so we can, of course, cover it for you. I hope everybody here will continue to join us. Subscribe if you haven't. So when we go live every Friday, you will receive a notification. All right, cool.
Thank you so much, Bervyn. All right, so yes, as mentioned, guys, we'll be doing live Friday, weekly 10:30 a.m. All right, and essentially, that's where you want to join us if you want a quick opinion on the stocks that you want, right? So today will be like Singapore market, next week will be US market. So it depends, right? We have some clients trading in Singapore, some US as well, and some of you might even just be scrolling through YouTube and Facebook. You're in the public, maybe you have no idea who I am, right? So, but let me introduce myself. Sorry, I forget to introduce myself and then introduce my team. So my name is Joey Choy. All right, top tier broker, reminds you in Philip Securities trader as well, and I've been in the markets for more than 10 years now. All right, teaching thousands of people from all walks of life in Singapore, all right, conducting numerous webinars and stuff. So this session is not to share with you the strategy and all that. It'll be too much. You can attend one of those free webinars that I'm running. Probably the link will be, I'll just place the link in the chat. Maybe Tim just place the link in the chat. All right, so you want to find a bit more of the strategy, this how to get this like secret indicator that we have that just help us to get in and out, attend one of those free webinar, right? So that's me, Joey Choy, all right? And maybe I'll just introduce my team, Zee, as well. So Zee has been with me for like, more than 4 or 5 years as well. One of top tier brokers under me in Philip Securities, assisting our clients, assisting, our mentees, conducting our group coaching session as well, all right? And Zee is a CMT, Chartered Market Technician. For those of you who are in the technical analysis space, right? This is pretty much the highest qualification one can ever get as well, all right? And so we have Zee over here. Zee, maybe just introduce yourself, a quick one.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, my name is Zee. Thanks Joey for the introduction. The thing is, over the past like 4.5 years, right? I think with Joey, we talk to clients day in, day out, mentoring them. Then one thing that, stood out, right, is that many people actually have very different experience in their trading journey. Like, some of the thing is like, maybe some of you here could be new. Some of you here could have a few years of experience, right? But maybe some of you could even be more advanced than myself, Bervyn and Joey, right? But what I really enjoy is, breaking down the complexity into something that is simple, that's fun and engaging. So we will be live for about 1 to 1.5 hours. And so later you will see, right, how Joey's 1GT Pro indicator, right, can make your trading journey less intimidating. So yeah, I'm very glad that you guys are here today and I hope to see you guys back in our future sessions too. So all right, back to you, Joey.
Thank you so much, Zee. All right, so yes, let's get started, right? So very quick, simple, all right? Just a quick disclaimer, right? Whatever that's shared today, all right, or in our live session, essentially, just for education purposes only, all right? There's, it's not to ask you to buy or not to buy or not to sell or not to buy, all right? Basically, it's just for education purpose, all right? So please do your own due diligence as well, all right? The standard disclaimer that we share, all right? So let's go to get started. So let me go to share my screen right now. Let me go to share my screen right now. And we want to look at the market. So how many of you want me to look at the STI? Just type the chat STI, right? So today we are looking at the Singapore market. So just type STI, guys, in chat if you want me to cover maybe the Straits Times Index. Let me know. Just type STI in the chat very quickly. Let's see. Stacy, STI, thank you so much. Any of you want me to cover the STI, or should we just skip that and go right into the stocks that you guys want? Let me know. Alan, STI, David, STI. Okay, STI. So let me just do a quick coverage of the STI. All right, so very simple. So basically, you see this is the STI right now, 3,801. So these are like charts that are live, right? So you can see for 3801, maybe a few minutes delay, but it's good enough. All right, and you see that for STI, before I talk about where we are, right, essentially, for STI, we have been in a pretty good longer term uptrend since last year, all right? Not just last month, but since last year, in case you're thinking, when is it, right? It's been in the uptrend since last year. Why do I say that? Well, essentially, you can see that for the STI, how do we tell whether we're in an uptrend? Well, we can take a look at what we call the longer term moving averages. So look at the red and blue line. I mean, look at this, right? So in 2023, even 2022, the red and blue line, all right, they were just like moving sideways, like, crossing up, down against one another and moving sideways. But the uptrend really, really started, right, when we broke this very key level. If I can draw it for you. So let me just go ahead to turn off all the signals later. We can turn it back on again. But we broke this very key level right over here, around the 3,500 to 3,400. Look at this, right? We were, kind of like trading below it in 2022, came down, neared it, came down. All right, but somewhere over here, all right, around maybe July 2024, just last year, you can see that we actually attempted to break this resistance. And when that happened, right, in fact, a few months before that, we started to see signs of the longer term trend turning up. The red and the blue line both started to point up. all right, from like sideways, they started to point up. So the longer term trend is up, all right. But as you know, if you have followed what I've shared, right, from the one good trend strategy. So the longer term trend is up, but doesn't mean that in the market, the long term trend is up means forever the short term trend is also up, all right? No, right? Because even though the longer term trend is up, the short term trend, whereby we can take a look at the green 20 days moving average line, can be down. Look at this, right down, right? Same thing here, maybe flat. All right. So if the green line is pointing up, good. That's where both the longer term trend and the short term trend is up, right? But if the longer term trend is up and the short term trend is down, then not so good. That's where you might see a bit of weakness in the market, right? We don't want to rush to get in. We're going to wait until the short term trend reverses back up again. All right. And that's where you get another confirmation of that reversal move. Does it make sense? All right. So let's go into take a look right now again as to the STI. So if I ask you right now, is the longer term trend for the market up? Well, I will say that it is obviously still up just by looking at the red and blue line. Obviously, they are both still pointing up. So longer term trend is up, right? What about the short term trend? Well, for the short term trend, you can see that it was up, right, in November, December. If you ask me, well, this green line, it was like flat, and then it started to point up. But right over the past 1-2 weeks, well, it has started to flatten out a little bit, right? Something like this, right over here. So you can see, right, we were like up, and then we flatten out. Does it make sense? For like about a month or so, right? So same thing. Now we up, and then we are flattening out. You guys following so far? All right. So we are seeing a bit of a short-term consolidation. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just good to see a bit of a sideways, movement in terms of a support and resistance. Just moving up and down, consolidating before attempting to push even higher. I think it's much more healthy. It's a more sustainable uptrend, right, for the entire market, rather than, if it were to just, consolidate and pump, consolidate, and before you know it, it just goes up very fast, then you want to be careful, right? But if it, moves up in a very gentle, sloping way, all right, it moves up, it consolidates like what we saw, that's it, pump, we broke the resistance, it starts to move higher, and now we are consolidating again. So I think it's pretty okay. The longer term trend is up. In the short term, we're just moving a bit of sideways. And I think all of you who have been following the US market, all right, we just got Donald Trump as the US president. Officially in the inauguration ceremony has happened, all right, and now we're seeing some strength in the US market as well. So US market has been a little bit weak over the past 1 month due to these rate cuts being put on hold, right? They want to slow down the pace of rate cuts. That's what the Federal Reserve Jerome Powell actually mentioned, right? But now Donald Trump is mentioning that he want to demand even for rates to go even lower, and we're seeing strength in the US market. So that could be a catalyst as well for the Singapore market as well to push even higher. All right. So what will be the key resistance for the market? Well, I would say that this 3,900 level, I think that is a very key resistance. You can see that we nearly came back down. And of course, the green line, as I mentioned, is sideways. So once it's sideways, it means that we have formed a little bit of a range, all right? A range whereby we are just consolidating from a support to a resistance level. So the range is quite clearly, right, from 3.7 to 3.9. Right, 3,700 to 3,900. Look at this, up, down, up, and now maybe come down a bit and up a bit, right? So that is, kind of like the range for the market from 3,007 to 3,009. As I say, nothing wrong, right? As long as you stay above some of those key support levels, like the 3,007, I think it's still okay. We are still in a pretty firm longer-term uptrend for the market, right? And then make a go ahead to turn on what we call the buy and sell signals. So you can see with a matter of seconds. Okay, let me just remove all these things. It's a bit clear, right? So in a matter of seconds, you can see that for the market as well, right? Or any asset classes, or even any stocks. In fact, later we'll cover the stocks that you guys want, right? We can simply turn on this indicator that I have, right? The One Good Trend Pro indicator. In short, it's one GT, right? The One GT Pro indicator, whereby it allows us to get in to write massive trends in the stock, right? So you can see you've got a bullish signal in the market, pump, bearish one came down, another bullish signal in August. Look at it, all the way up from the August signal, and about 12-13% in the market, about 3-4 months before we got a bearish signal, right? So when we get a bearish signal, well, it just means, as I mentioned, right, a little bit of weakness. We're seeing a bit of resistance coming back. You can take this opportunity to get out, take some profit, nothing wrong, all right? But let's take a look, right? So you can see now we are having a little bit of bearish, and then a bullish, and then bearish, right? Why are we seeing this? Well, essentially, we are in a consolidation phase. So every time it goes up, then a bearish signal, then go down, then bullish signal. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down. It's so that is pretty much what's happening right now. So I think the market is sideways. If we do see, so I think the most recent one was a bearish, because we came down a little bit again. But if we do see a new, so two things we look out for, right? Very simple. Two things to look out for. First thing, we want to see the bullish signal comes out, right? So this bullish signal came out, but it wasn't that good. Why? Because, as I mentioned, the green line was flat. Does it make sense? The short-term trend was flat, right? But if, look at this right over here, right? The bullish signal came out. The green line was down. Wait for it. Pump. It turns up right over here. That is where we get a second confirmation of that move. And that's exactly what we're looking for, right? Not just for the market, but for any single stock. We're going to get a confirmation of a signal plus the short-term trend turning up as well, right? I mean, the long-term trend, that one don't need to say, like, that one up since last year, right? I already said, so very, very easy, but we want to wait for the signal to come out and we'll wait for the short-term trend to turn up. That would be a double confirmation, all right, of that new move higher. And of course, when that happens, if we were to break like the 3,900 resistance level right over here, I would say that there's more legs to the rally, all right? That's where STI can push even higher, maybe to 4,000 to 4,001. Targets could be raised, all right? So that is the STI, all right? I hope you guys get a better understanding of where we are right now, all right? So let's go ahead to cover very quickly, guys, the stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on, right? So those of you who are just joining us today, welcome. We have only just started and we have just covered the STI. I'll give it a quick outlook on the STI. And now, very simple, we are going into the Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. So do us a favor, guys, just type on like and share. So maybe we'll give you a bit more priority if you are doing that, all right? So like and share, all right? And then you type the stocks that you want in the chat. So let me just go through me and my team, Bervyn and Zee, we'll all go through the stocks very quickly. All right, so let's see. We have, so very simple, right? So we'll take turns, all right? So I'll choose one, and then Bervyn will come out, and then Zee, then, we just do like rotation like that. And one of us will definitely cover your stock, right? But if we missed it, my apologies, right? My apologies if we missed it because we cannot cover, like 100 stocks in the session, right? So we try to take like maybe 1 or 2 minutes per stock, all right? But type in the chat right now if you have any Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on, right? Quite quick opinion on. Let me see, right? Okay, good. Let's see, right? So we have what stock is this? Samsung. Maybe I'll just do the first one. Oiltek, right? Oiltek. I think that came to my watch list. Let me just go ahead to cover this stock called Oiltek. Oiltek. I think this is a Singapore stock. I actually spotted it as well. And I think I drew some targets as well. Let me just go ahead to remove a little bit cleaner. Let's take a look at this, right? So this is Oiltek. Samsung, I think you're asking about Oiltek, right? I hope that helps. I'll just cover it very quickly now before I pass on the mic to Bervyn and Zee. All right, okay. So very simple. This is Oiltek. Good. I think it looks pretty good. Look at the longer term trend. All right, it's up. All right, the short term trend as well. Right over here, it was actually sideways. Look at the green line. It was like sideways, right? So if you want, I could actually draw this resistance level. Look at this, right? Came down. Maybe just moving sideways. Boring, I would say, right? Since June all the way to like September last year. But I think the move really started when we broke the resistance at about the 50 cents. All right, right over here we broke 50 cents. Good. The 20 days moving average line from flat started to point up. So the short-term trend is up. We broke the key resistance level. The long-term trend obviously was up already by then. And off we went, right? So I think it's a very bullish stock, all right? One thing, so actually I had this stock in my watch. It's just that, liquidity-wise is a little bit not the strongest, all right? So probably cannot buy too many shares because the liquidity is not a lot, but it looks pretty bullish as well, all right? It looks pretty bullish as well, not just in the longer term, in the short term as well. I think the trend looks like it is pointing up right now. Looking at green line, look at these right prices. In fact, I can draw another resistance level right here, all right? So we push up all the way from October to November, and then we saw some selling, right? And that's where we had a new resistance level. Look at this, a new resistance at about $1.10, right? But over the past few days, we actually broke above the 110. So not too bad, right? We broke above the 110. It seems like we are attempting to push even higher right now. So I think if you can stay above the 110, right? I think it looks pretty bullish, right? We could see even more upside momentum, right? So this is Oiltek, right? One of the stocks, to be honest, it has been my watch list. In fact, I can show you why it's been on my watch list. Let me go to turn on very quickly, right over here, the bullish and bearish signals. So you can see for Oiltek, right? In fact, we got some bullish signals in April 2024, just last year. Look at this, right? A bullish signals pump went up a little bit, consolidate, and we got this bullish signal in September before it started to really move up. Look at this, right? I mean, that would be like another bullish signal here, bearish signal, 296%, all right, in just about 7 to 8 months, right? If you have followed the signal, you got it, you ride it, 296%. Of course, you got a, bearish signal, it came out, take some profit, all right, get out. And the thing here is that over the past 2 months, right, after this bearish signal, we got 2 new bullish signals. You can see, guys, I mean, as I mentioned, right, we are attempting to, after this bullish signal, we are attempting to finally break the resistance. And it seems like it's moving up right now. Does it make sense? So if we do see like a bearish signal, then maybe you want to be careful, all right? But right now, we got a bullish signal. The green line is pointing up. I think it looks pretty okay, right? I think, as I mentioned, it can stay above the $1.10. It looks pretty okay, right? So that is the first stock I covered called Oiltek. Bervyn, back to you. Maybe you can choose what you want and then go ahead to cover it. Go ahead.
Thanks, Joey. Okay, so just now, I think earlier on, I think Jessica was asking why sets dropped so much. I think Song Ho was also asking about sets. Okay, so I will just put sets up on my screen right now. Okay, so on the screen right now, you should see my chart on sets. Okay, so I think here's the thing about sets. I think earlier on, middle of last year, actually saw a little bit of a recovery because the 20 days moving average started to, hit above the 100 and 200 days, and then subsequently the 100 and 200 days moving average also crossed each other. And then for a period of time, we had an uptrend before we actually saw, a bit of selling, or sellers actually came back where close to this $4 psychological resistance right here. All right, so that's when we actually saw selling came in after a little bit of consolidation. Prices were not able to break above this $4 level, this $4 key level, and then prices started to head down already. Okay, so right now, if we look at the 20 days moving average, just the nearer term trend, you should see that, is it pointing up or down? Jessica, is it pointing up or down? For sets, the 20 days moving average. Maybe someone can tell me whether it's pointing up or down. The green line. No, nobody can identify whether it is a up or down trend for the nearer term. The 20 days moving average, the green line. Let me just zoom in so everybody can take a look.
So guys, make sure you participate, right? Because when you participate, then you can learn a little bit more on the strategy, right? So go to type in the chat, and that's where, if you do that, you engage with us as well. That's where we will definitely, give you a bit more priority. All right. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Clem. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Down, starting to point down. Yes. Okay, great. Everybody got it. It's pointing down. And furthermore, what we also see that it has also crossed below the 100 days moving average. Furthermore, the 100 days moving average has started to, show a bit of weakness, started to point down as well. So just by looking at that, I mean, you can clearly tell that in the near term, there is selling pressure. Sellers are in it to push the prices further down towards where I would say the nearer term support would be around the 334, 335 level, where you can actually see maybe, a little bit of buyers come back in, because last time it was a resistance clearly before it broke above. And now it is the support where it's right around the 200 days moving average as well. So that's where I hope that buyers can come back in, to protect this level. Otherwise, if not, you may see further weakness in this counter. All right, so if we turn on our one good trend signals right here, we saw actually 2 bearish signals that came in. I mean, one is in the middle of December, one very recent, 22nd of January. So I mean, with that being said, I think it's very clear if you are looking to get in, it is still not the best time to do it, because I think what we want to see would be actually the 20 days moving average start to flatten out a little bit and then start to point up again before heading to this $4 level. All right, so if you are holding on to this counter, I think you have to have a plan to actually have a stop loss or anything like that. Or if you are sitting on some profits, maybe it's time to consider to, take some money, put in your pocket first. All right. So with the prices trailing or trading under the trailing resistance, not a good sign as well, because this one GT signal that came in earlier on was because the trailing support right here, this green shaded area, was broken. So that's not what we want to see. That's not what we want to see. We want to see, the prices start to hit above this trailing resistance first before a new 1 GT bullish signal that can come up again. Yes, then maybe that's when you actually can consider to get in as well. All right, so that is for sets. Maybe let's pass the time to Z to talk about the next stock.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Bervyn. Okay, let me just share my screen. All right. Okay, so I think I saw somebody asking about Hoppa, right? David, you're asking about Hoppa, right? So let's take a look at Hoppa. Hoppa, since the start of the year 2024, right? We can all see that, it's kind of like just moving sideways all the way until July, for a good like 7 months. And this can also be seen by all the moving averages, right? You can see like, the red, the green, and the blue. 20 days, which is the green, 100 days, which is the red, and the blue, which is 200 days moving average, are all just going sideways. So you can see that it's kind of like consolidating for the past 7 months, and only until July, that's where we actually really start to see some action going on, right? Which is over here. And the 20 days moving average has actually started to point up, plus the 100 and 200 days moving average are also starting to head up as well, right? So this is where we actually start to see more action going on in terms of the trend. And subsequently, I mean, there's some sideways movement in terms of the short-term trend once again, when sellers come back in. But the thing is that the longer-term trend, both 100 days and 200 days moving average are still heading higher, right? Are still heading higher. So where are we at right now? Okay, so let me just zoom in a bit more. Okay, so as of now, one thing that we can definitely spot. Okay, not maybe one day, two things.
Okay, Z.
Yeah.
Z, I think maybe you're breaking up a little bit. Maybe I will take over now. You can solve it first, no worries. All right, then, I'll just solve it. I think, maybe you're a little bit breaking up. I can't really hear you as well. Certain parts, right, you're breaking up. I think some of the attendees are mentioning as well. So let me just cover Hoppa, right? Let me just cover Hoppa for Z very quickly before she solve the audio, maybe some connection issues, right? Okay, let me go. So this Hoppa, right? I'll just share my screen. Okay, so very good. I think let me just continue from where Z had mentioned just now. So Hoppa, I think what Z has mentioned just now very clearly is that, the longer term trend is up, right? Looking at the red and blue line from the one good trend strategy, all right? And, in the short term, essentially, as I mentioned, I think Z mentioned as well, the green 20 days moving average line, all right, we could see a bit of a sideways movement. Why? Right? Just as I mentioned, right, just looking at this green line, moving sideways, it means that we are in a short-term consolidation, even though the longer-term trend was up, right? So you can see went up, sideways, went up, sideways, went up, maybe sideways a little bit. And now we are indeed starting to see, all right, the green 20 days moving average line starting to point up. So that's a sign of strength. The sign of strength, it shows that not just the longer term trend is up, but the short term trend is up. And when that happens, we can actually do a few things, right? What we do for any single analysis, that we always want to go ahead to draw support and resistance level. So quite clearly for Hoppa, all right, this stock, the support is at about the $11 level. Why do I say that? Well, quite clearly you can see that this 11 in September all the way to November, we came down. There's some bearish candles here, and then we came down, and we were kind of like below it until we broke this resistance level, all right, in November. That is where I started to push a little bit higher. Of course, the green line started to turn up as well, all right, and we came down, retraced, and you see that we actually respected and tested the same resistance turn support level, all right, and that is where we started to push away from it as well, right? So that's a sign of strength, right? It just shows that, this $11 support is quite okay. It's quite okay. We can also go ahead to draw another resistance level right here from 11 all the way to 11.50, right, for Hoppa, right? So I think, David, you're asking about Hoppa, so I hope it gives you a quick idea where we are right now. Longer term trend is up, the short term trend is up. 11.50 will be a very key level to watch. Look at this, right? We touched it like, last month and came back down from it. So right now we are like 11.43, all right, which is very near 11.50 lah, right? So 11 like 43, 48, 49, 47, that kind of thing, right? I think that's where some selling can come back. In fact, I think we touched and then came back down. Today high was about 11 and 53. So we actually attempted to go above 11.50, but then we came back down. Does it make sense? All right, so not so good yet. I mean, not saying not good, but just that we are seeing sellers near the resistance level. If we can firmly break the 11.50, right, we go to 11.52, 55, 56, and we of course go up and stay above, don't come back down, right? Then that is where we could see more upside, right? This green line will point up, the short-term trend continue to point up. We could see the next phase of upside, right, all the way to maybe 12 to 12.50. I think that could be a very good move, right? And in fact, let me go ahead to turn on, as I say, right, any single stock, right? Whether is it Singapore, I mean, today we are covering Singapore stock, right? But it can happen for the US market, it can happen for any asset classes as well. We can simply just turn on these signals, right? So I've analyzed it, but why not let's take a look at what it says on my one good trend pro indicator, right? So let me just turn on and see, pump, there we go, right? So you can see, okay, I'll not go too far, but look at this, right? I mean, I talk about this bullish signal. I mean, we've got the green line pointing up, pump, right? And there we have it, right? From here to here, April to here, 7%, all right? We got a bearish signal, so a bit of weakness, right? And then we got two new bullish signals coming out in August as well, pump, another one, pump, right? And then start to come down, another 12%. And yeah, over the past, 2 days, in fact, on the 23rd of Jan, yesterday, today 24, right? Yesterday, we got a bullish signal coming out, all right? So I think it looks pretty good. We have a bullish signal coming out finally, all right? The green line is starting to turn up. If you want just another confirmation, as I mentioned just now, if we can break the 1150, so we got a bullish signal, the green line is pointing up. If we can break the 1150, right, we go to 1150 something, right, 55, 52, 54, stay above it, great. That will be another confirmation of that upwards move, all right, for Hopper. All right, I hope that helps, David. All right, so that is pretty much Hopper. All right, maybe we can go ahead to pass on to Bervyn. Bervyn, maybe I'll do the next one, right, before Z solve the audio issue. Right, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So I think just now, I think somebody was asking. Let me just take a look in the chat. Okay, how about we do this, Raju? Okay, Raju wants Bumitama. Bumitama. Let me just pull it up on my screen. Bumitama Agri. Okay, so right here we have Bumitama Agri. Hopefully Raju is still with us. Okay, so I think very, very clearly you can see the uptrend has started quite a while back already, sometime in late 2023. Sometime in late 2023, we actually saw that the uptrend had started to form where the 100 and 200 days moving average crossed each other back then. All right. Okay, so if we now resume to the nearer term, we actually saw that there was a little bit of weakness right around the 92 cents, 90 cents, 92 cents area, where you saw a little bit of sellers come in after a pretty good rally from the 60 cents level that we actually saw since mid of last year. I think this is a good sign that there's a little bit of strength in the counter, but in the near term, prices look to be consolidating a little bit. Right here is we saw the 20 days moving average flatten out after the sell down from 92 cents. Not too bad. I think the up move from the 60 cents, 60 to 70 cents level is still very, very much, a very respectable up move. But in the near term, we may see the consolidation continue, especially if, prices continue to hold above this 82 cents level that, had rebounded from since November and December, and of course recently the 16th of January as well. So this is a good sign that buyers are here to protect this level. There's still a little bit of buying interest available, or buying interest still present in the market right now. I think if we are able to see it continue to flatten out the 20 days moving average, then point up, that's when maybe we can come back to test the 90 cents level again. And of course, if this 90 cents level is able to give way, that will form what we call a resistance turn to a support, where you could potentially see more upside towards where I think may see upside towards the $1 psychological resistance first. Yep, which is I think a level, the next level to watch out for. Okay, so if we turn on our buy and sell signals right here, we see a little bit of weakness. Why did we see a little bit of weakness here, or this 1 GT bearish signal that actually came out on the 15th of January? Sorry, this is because we actually saw that the trailing support right here about this 84 cents had been broken as the prices test the 82 cents support. So this is very, very normal in the consolidation phase. Like Joey have mentioned just now, we may see multiple bullish and bearish signals if prices are consolidating. So maybe this is a start. This is a good sign to know that maybe this is the start of a consolidation phase, and we may see prices trade in a range, so between the 82 cents to the 92 cents first before it breaks above or before it attempts to break above. So if you're looking to get in, maybe not just yet, Raju. If you're looking to get in, not just yet, let's wait for the prices to, or the 20 days moving average to start to point up a little bit. Maybe we'll see a 1 GT bullish signal, and then that is when I think it's a good opportunity for you to get in to ride the continued longer term uptrend. All right, so that is it for Bumitama. Hope it answers for you. Maybe Z, you can try out the next stock, see if your audio is working.
Okay, sure. Can you guys hear me?
It is still a little bit broken up.
Try again. Z, go ahead. Maybe a little bit breaking up, but I'm not too sure. Maybe it's working, maybe it's not.
Okay, sure. If any point in time, if I'm breaking up, please feel free to take over. All right. Okay, so
Sure.
I'm just going to try to start another stock now. So
That's
okay,
good.
one of
Sounds
the
good.
stocks
Sounds good. Let's go.
that
Let's go. It's good. It's good.
Okay, all right. So one of you guys actually asked, right, about this stock called Yangzijiang, right? Yangzijiang. John, I think John is actually asking about Yangzijiang. Okay, so I hope you guys can see my screen as well. Okay, so for Yangzijiang, right, at the start of 2024, we can see that this is where the 20 days moving average actually crosses above the 100 days.
Z, I think your audio is a bit cracking up again. Maybe you can try to rejoin the stream. I'll take over for this stock,
sure.
no problem.
Sure.
Yeah, you can rejoin the stream.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, Bervyn, go ahead.
So here we go. We have Yangzijiang Shipbuilding. Well, I think this is one of those stocks that actually saw a very, very good run up at the start. Since last year, I would say. Very keen to look at this stock as well. I think this is on Joey's watch list. I'm pretty sure it's on his watch list as well. Look here. If we see that the 20 days, we saw that the 20 days moving average started to slow up above the 100 days moving average since early 2024. And what's the point here? It has kept above these 100 days and 200 days moving average since then. So I mean, it's a good sign, especially the 100 and 200 days moving average is clearly pointing up. It's clearly pointing up and sloping up. So this is a good sign that there is continued strength in the counterpart. I think in some point in the year, from June to about the December mark, all right, the June to December mark, we actually saw that you had been trading in the range. So if we look in the past, something like this, we have seen that prices have actually just been going up and down in this range. So that is a consolidation phase that happened for about 6 months or so, testing the 280 level, came close to it, came down, went up a little bit, tested it, came down, and then finally in December we managed to break above this resistance level. Then we are maybe able to see prices hit higher from there. But I think this $3 level which prices have actually came to in the recent times could be another level to watch out for. This 3 to maybe about 315 level, which is like a resistance zone. All right, this resistance zone where we actually saw sellers actually came back in. So let me just clear up all this for you. So this is now what we call a support. All right, this is what we call a support level at the 280 level, and then the $3 to 315 level is what we call resistance zone, where we actually saw sellers actually came back in when prices approached this level. All right, so if we look at the 20 days moving average in the nearer term, I would say it is still slightly pointing up. I think everybody will agree that at least it's not down. I mean, maybe it could be sideways, pointing up a little bit, but at least it's not down. So what does that mean? That means the near-term buying interest is still present. Buyers are still present in this counter. So that is a good sign. That is a good sign that maybe you know, if we are able to continue to hold above this 280 support level, this area right here, you know, you could actually see continued interest in this counter. That is a good sign. Upside towards where, like I mentioned just now, between the 3 to 315 level, I think that is when, you know, you can see a little bit of consolidation. If this level gives way, I think potentially you could see, you know, upside towards the 330 level first. All right, so let's see what does Joey's 1GT indicator say right now. All right, look right here. Right here we have the 1GT bullish signal, 1GT bullish signal that actually came in, you know, mid of December. It actually came in, you know, as prices broke above this previous 280 resistance level. So I think that is a good sign that, you know, there is interest in this counter. If you want to get in, I think somewhere closer towards this 280 level will be one place that you can actually consider to get in. So right when we are here, I think let me just set an alert. So okay, so if anyone wants to set an alert to see if prices actually dip below to give you an opportunity to get in, very simply on your trading chart, trading view chart, you can just right click, send alert. You know, alternate A for shortcut. Prices, you know, crossing the 280 level, right? Only once you can just key in your message right here or the alert that you want to receive, and then when prices approach this level, you will receive an alert, and then that's when you can come in, take a look at the chart, see if the 20 days moving average is still pointing up. Is there any new 1GT signals that actually came up? And then that's how you plan your entry, especially for those who are actually looking to get in. And then vice versa, for those who are actually looking to, you know, protect some profits, you can actually set a 1GT or 1GT alert for a buy or sell signal. So when there is a new signal, you will be notified as well. All right. Okay. So that is all for Yangzijiang Shipbuilding. Maybe Z, you want to test your audio once again to see if it's working?
Okay, sure. Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah, seems to be better, but hopefully it lasts. Let's try.
Yeah. Okay.
It does happen, guys. It does happen. For those of you who are joining us, apologies for this, but you know, this is live, right? So you know, we are just trying things out over here. Hopefully, you know, these things work. All right.
Yeah,
Wait, go ahead.
there's some technical glitch, but I apologize for that, and I hope this actually works now. If not, I will probably have to replace this lah. But okay, so I saw someone was actually asking about Frencken, right? Was it Frencken who was asking about Frencken? Kitson was actually asking about Frencken, right? So okay, I've shared my screen. I hope you guys can see. Okay, so for Frencken, right? The thing is that we actually start to see the uptrend forming somewhere in September 2023, where the 20 days moving average has crosses above both the longer term moving average right over here. And then subsequently, another confirmation came when the 100 days moving average crossed above the 200 days moving average right here. And then prices rallied all the way up, you know, from this like $1 level all the way to about 170, right? And that's about almost 70% increase in price. And subsequently, we see, you know, selling pressure come back in, some profit taking happening, prices dip back all the way down. But here is where we actually got some support at about 130, rallied back all the way up again to the high as of previous at about 170. Sellers came back in. And if you actually notice here, we actually see this thing called double top, right? So if you want to learn a bit more about all these candlestick and a bit more in depth of these strategies, right? Feel free to attend one of the upcoming webinar hosted by Joey. And you can actually get to learn more about the strategies and all of these candlestick patterns as well. Okay, so going back to these, after prices, you know, came back down, selling pressure came in. This is where we actually saw, you know, the 20 days moving average breaking below the longer term moving average once again, right over here. And right now, based on the trend itself, right? Based on the trend itself, what do you guys think of the trend? Do you think it's an uptrend, downtrend? What do you think based on the moving averages? Now the blue is 200, red is 100, and green is 20 days. Do you guys think it's in an uptrend, or do you guys think it's in a downtrend? Can let me know in the chat. Do you guys think it's up, or do you think it's down? John says it's down. Yep, it's down. Why? Because the 200 days is above the 100 days and above the 20 days. And that's right. A lot of you guys are right. Edward, Kelvin, Pauline, hi, everybody said it's down. Yes, that's correct, right? And if it's down, one of the things that we want to look at, right, it's also support, right? The support level. So the support level would be somewhere around this like 108 to 110 level, right? This is where, you know, prices, we actually saw buying pressure came back in, push prices back up, and it kind of consolidated sideways over the past week and is holding above this $1.10 level. Okay, let's just turn on the signals to have a look as well. Okay, so right now, we actually see that, you know, recently there is a 1 GT bullish entry signal coming out, but overall the trend is actually still down, right? We are still not seeing, you know, the 20 days moving average crossing above this 100 days yet. So as of now, I would say that for this counter, perhaps you want to be a bit more cautious for now, and you may want to set your price alert at this support level, because if prices were to break down and break below this level, we can potentially see more downside towards this counter. All right, to more downside towards this counter. So for this counter, as mentioned, right now maybe you want to be a bit more cautious. For those who are holding Frencken, you can actually set a price alert at about 110, and if prices were to break below it, do be a bit more cautious. All right, so that would be for Frencken. I'll be passing back to Joey for now.
Yep, sure. Let me go ahead to cover the next one. All right, let me go to share my screen. And I think there's some of you who are asking about this stock called Centurion. So maybe we will go a little bit faster because it seems like today's session, there's quite a lot of stocks, right? Quite a lot of stocks. So I think we will just maybe cut the analysis a little bit shorter, right? Maybe we'll just dive right into the, you know, the one good trend, the one GT Pro indicator, and just quickly see the signals. And I hope that gives you guys a quick idea as well. All right, on what to do, right? So maybe let's see. Andy, you're asking about Centurion. I think another of you asking about Centurion as well. All right, let me just go to cover Centurion right now. All right, Centurion. So this is Centurion. You can see, guys, that, you know, Centurion, if you have been following me as well, I think in the previous live call we covered it. This is what I've shared with my VIP clients as well in Philips Securities, even my mentees and my subscribers as well, all right, since last year. So you can see we had some pretty good bullish signals right over here, you know, since April, or even somewhere in February as well. We got some bullish signals. So it was pretty much just moving a little bit sideways. But when this signal came out in April, you can see off we went, all right, and that would be like about 53% in about 4 months. All right, a bearish signal, well, move sideways a little bit, right, nothing much. But then a new bullish signal came out in August, right, just about 4 months back. And look at this, right, we went up by another, all right, 51%, right, 51%. It is about 5 or 6 more months again, right? So a bearish signal came out, a little bit boring, right? I mean, the green line was moving up, right? Started to flatten out. Remember, right? It's up, flatten out. So flatten out just means that it doesn't mean it's going down or going crash or what. It just means that we are in a sideways consolidation, all right, in the short term, which is correct because we got a bearish signal, right? So it just means a bit of, you know, selling pressure is coming back. You might want to take some profit. I mean, if you have got in here and then, you know, more than 40-50%, I think it's good to take some profit. Don't need to be greedy, right? But I think is this, right? Over the past few weeks, right, we got 2 bullish signal coming out. Look at this, right? We got 2 bullish signals coming out. I think you might want to put this stock in your watch list. In fact, I think if I'm not wrong, over the past 1 to 2 weeks, I actually sent out a note to my clients as well in Philips Securities, right? And that's where you know, we kind of like alerted our clients that you might want to put this stock in your watch list because there could potentially be a bit more upside, not because, you know, we just love this stock for nothing, but because, right, we saw some bullish signals coming out. And of course, the longer term trend, red and blue line, is up, and the short term trend, just by looking at the green line right now, you can clearly see that the green line is starting to turn up. Does it make sense? All right, it's starting to turn up. So is it something like over here, you know, whereby, you know, it was like flat a little bit and starting to point up, or of course got a bullish signal starting to point up, pump. There we go, right? So now we got 2 bullish signal starting to point up. What do you guys think? Well, my take, I think it looks pretty bullish, but if you want to get a bit more confirmation, well, I think maybe 104, 105 will be a little bit of a temporary resistance level. If we can break those levels, I think we are in for a ride, all right? That's where you can start to push a little bit higher, right? So that is Centurion. All right. And by the way, guys, I think some of you might be asking as well, how do you get these ideas? Because we mentioned that, we actually share these ideas to our clients and all that. I mean, in Phillip Securities, right? So if you are just scrolling through YouTube and Facebook, first of all, guys, I mean, welcome to this live session. If you're just scrolling through, you have no idea why you're here as well, all right? And you're just seeing people asking their Singapore stocks. Well, essentially in this session, guys, we'll cover the Singapore stocks and we have done like quite a few stocks already, all right? Later we'll do a quick summary. But the key here is that, for these stocks that we mentioned, if you want to get some of those ideas much faster by WhatsApp Live Daily, all right, check out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities, all right? So that's where you get more services, you get our top ideas by WhatsApp as well. I think we'll just place the link in the chat as well, and also in the screen, right? You can see if you are like on your computer, you can scan the QR code to find out a little bit more, all right? So there's a link to find out how you can become a VIP client of mine in Phillip Securities. Get some of our top ideas by WhatsApp Daily Live for free. You do not pay. Just to be clear, you do not pay anything more. Some people think, hey, is it free? And all that. Yeah, it's free. Right? You do not pay anything more, right? Essentially, these are some of the services we provide for our clients who trade under us. All right. So if you are trading, I mean, you probably need a trading account to trade, right? So no idea where you're trading, but if you have a trading account, you're trading, you're logging in, buy, sell some stocks, don't know what stocks, but if you're not getting any service, right, guys, check it out, right? The link is right in the chat. We'll just place it link in the chat. Click on the link, scan the QR code on the screen right now, find out how you can become a VIP client under me in Phillip Securities, right? So that you can get some of those ideas like Centurion, right? I mean, we covered it over the past few months, in fact, at about like 60 cents, even 40, 50 cents, we covered it. It's gone up. So that's where you could get ideas like this. As I mentioned, right? 50%, right? 50% in just about 5 months, right? So you can get ideas like this. Check out the link. It is in the chat. All right. Okay. So that's it. I pretty much covered Centurion. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn. Go ahead. All yours.
All right. Thanks, Joey. I think just now, I think quite a few people are asking about the banks in Singapore. I think Crystal is asking about DBS, UOB, OCBC. Maybe I'll cover OCBC first, and then maybe we can do a one round of everybody just doing the banks lah. All right. Okay. So on here we have OCBC. I think OCBC is one of the banks. Unlike DBS, I think a little bit slower. Prices are lower as well lah. I think since February last year to say the end of December, I think the upside is about 30%. I think not too bad already. And there are quite a few 1GT signals that actually came out earlier last year as well, as prices started to hit higher and higher and higher. I think the longer term trend is still very, very much. Sorry, just let me pull back up my indicators. Sorry, guys. Let me just clear this up. Okay, so what we have here is the 1GT signal that is already on my counter. All right, so if we have the 1GT signals, many, I think 1, 2, 3 in earlier of last year, and then subsequently we saw quite a few bearish signals. I think these are the two bearish signals that most people will actually watch out for, because we actually saw that prices actually came down subsequently as these signals came out. So this is a good sign, or this is a good indicator for you to use if you have been riding the counter for a while in an uptrend. You're looking for exit, or thinking when to actually take profit. I think these signals give you a good sign, on when to take profit as well, especially because prices have seen a bit of a selling close to the 1550 resistance at that point of time as well. So if we look into the closer term, the nearest 1GT signal actually came out in November of last year, and there is no current no newer signals after that. No exit signals just yet, or no 1GT bearish signals just yet. This is a good sign, because actually prices have actually sold down from the 1750 level a little bit, but the nearer term trend still looks up. So I think maybe we can look out for another 1GT signal if prices break above the 1750 to show that the strength can continue towards a higher level as well. So I think that's a quick analysis on this OCBC. I think maybe Z can take us through the next bank stock.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So I think Bervyn actually covered OCBC, right? Okay, then let me cover UOB. Okay, so for UOB, a very quick one, if we take a look at the trend itself, I mean, of course, we can all tell that, the trend is actually in an uptrend right now, same like OCBC. And right over here at the start of the year, right, we actually see a couple of 1GT bullish signals coming out, right? And price actually went all the way up, you know, from this level all the way to maybe about when the 1GT bearish signal came out, it's about close to 15% rise in price. And subsequently, you know, you see some selling pressure, profit taking, you know, the earnings also came out, you know, and prices dipped back all the way down, right? But it went back up again and actually formed a higher high, right? A higher high. And subsequently on this day here, somewhere, you know, on the 7th of November as well as the 8th of November, that's where we actually see two 1GT bullish signal coming out. And this actually came out, you know, it's actually kind of because of this thing called the trailing support and resistance, because price actually broke above a resistance. And when we actually break above a resistance, right, that's actually a good thing, right? Because that will means that there's more buying pressure in the market, right? And this is where the signals actually came out. And subsequently, we actually do see a couple more 1GT bullish signal coming out as well. But over the couple of past few months, you know, since November, we actually start to see that, you know, the 20 days moving average, right, has started to flatten out and move sideways. And that's where we see prices are kind of in a consolidation range, you know, somewhere around this level, at around this 30, close to 36 to about 38. You know, prices have been kind of like going sideways within this range right over here. So the thing is, if let's say you guys are thinking about entering, right, where are some of the potential entry zones that you can actually take note of? That would be somewhere close to the support area, which is over here, right? Over here, let me just highlight it in green, easier for you guys to see. So somewhere around here near the support zone, this is where you can potentially think of getting in. And if prices were to actually break above this $38 resistance level, where can we potentially see price head towards? We can actually do a simple projection based on the range. And this is where the new targets could potentially be at, which is around the $40 level. And that is actually also a psychological resistance to take note of. All right. So that would be a very quick analysis for UOB. Maybe I'll pass the time back to Bervyn. Maybe you can cover the last stock for all the banks.
Okay, all right. So maybe I'll cover the last bank is DBS. Okay, let me just put my chart onto the screen. Okay, so I think very clearly, I think this is DBS has been one of the banks that a lot of people have been talking about, especially with the special dividends that have been giving out last year. Not too sure whether it will continue this year, but I think let's continue to see if the trend can continue. But I think I just want to point out one thing here is that the 1GT bearish signal, it has recently came out for DBS. Why? Why is that the case? I think very simply, if we turn on the trailing support and resistance, we actually saw that right here, I think sometime in January, mid of January, prices actually came down from the 45, the 40, close to the 46 level, actually 45.88, close to the 46 level, broke below the trailing support, which is right around the 43 level, but we are still holding above the 43 level, so it's not too bad already. So we actually see a little bit of consolidation close to this support level, which I think could be a buy zone as well for many that are looking out. But what's keeping me back from actually looking further is actually this 1GT signal that actually shows that selling pressure could continue. Doesn't mean that there's a 1GT bearish signal, the prices come crashing down or something like that. No, it just means that a little bit of selling pressure that came in. We want to look out for any reversal signals in the near term, especially if we do not see any reversal signals. That's when we want to be careful. Or if we see another 1GT bearish signal that actually came out, that means that there is even more selling pressure from the first one. So if you are looking to get in for DBS, I think two places, or there are possibly two modes of entry that you can actually get in. One is, like I said, close to the 43 level would be one entry. The other would be to, I guess, wait for the prices to hit a bit higher, break above this trailing resistance, or perhaps break above the 46 level, which is, I think, maybe a little bit more aggressive for some, to buy above the newly formed support of $46. But if you do that, of course, you have to have a risk reward plan that you actually want to consider before getting in, as prices could break down if this support or this new support does not hold in the future. All right, so okay, that is all for the three banks. I think I'll pass back to Joey to cover the next counter.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, Bervyn. Let me go ahead to cover the next stock, right? And for those of you who have just joined us, right, and let me just do a quick recap. Let me do a quick summary, guys, because what happens that we have covered quite a few stocks. Some of you might be asking about the stocks again, all right? And we will not cover the same stocks again, right? Because we have already covered it, so we'll cover like more new stocks. So let me just go to read out all the names of the stock that we have covered so far. So in case you kind of like missed it, right, not to worry. That is where you can watch the replay at the end of this live stream. The replay will be ready. You can go ahead to look at the screen, all right, the stream. Okay, so let's take a look at what I've covered so far. So I think we have covered, first of all, the first one, the STI, right, the Straits Times Index, given a quick overview of the market for the Singapore market, all right, and then we move on to the stocks that you guys were asking about, right? And the very first stock which I covered was this company called Oiltek, right? Oiltek, Oiltek. And then of course we have Sets that was covered as well. Number 2, number 3 we have Hopar, all right, HAWPAR, Hopar. Number 4 we have Bumitama, Agri, Bervyn covered that. We have Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, that's number 5, right? Number 6 we have Frencken, one of the tech stocks. Z covered it as well. I covered number 7, Centurion, not too bad. One of the stocks that I mentioned that you want to put in your watch list, right? Watch that, all right? That's number 7. And then we move on to the 3 banks, right? Number 8, OCBC. Number 9, UOB. Number 10, DBS. And we have pretty much covered 10 stocks, right? So very quickly, let me go ahead to cover the next stock as well, all right? And maybe before I do that, guys, would it be okay, guys, if you just help us to hit the like and share button, all right? So hit the like and share button so you can reach out to more people as well. More people can join in the future. That will really help out the channel, as I mentioned, right? You also want to go ahead to subscribe, right? Hit the subscribe, whether you're on Facebook or follow, whether on YouTube as well, subscribe, follow, hit the notification so that when we go live in the future, you will not miss out as well. All right. Okay, so let me move on to see what I'll cover. I think some of you are asking about this stock. Let me see, right? So we have this stock called Hong Leong Asia, right? Hong Leong Asia. And that is pretty much what I'll cover right now, number 11, right? Number 11. So let's see. So this is Hong Leong Asia, right? Not too bad, not too bad. I think Hong Leong Asia has been doing pretty well, right? I'll just dive right into it. Right now you can see that enough of the more in-depth analysis, but quite clearly you can see that we had some bullish signals in July. All right, right over here, another bullish signals, 2, 3 more, and then there we go all the way up until a bearish signal came out, right? So that's how it can guide you, as I say, right? Any asset classes, that's what we've been doing for the stocks that you guys are asking about. And can you see yourself doing this? I mean, it's not that difficult, right? You can just type it yourself, get a quick opinion in seconds, all right, and it can get you on entry and exit. So if you want to find out more, as I say, attend one of those free web class. We don't have time to share the whole entire strategy and the whole framework, but essentially you can see how powerful this is, right? So look at this, right, from here all the way to here, 38%, right? And that's where we saw a bit of weakness because a bearish signal came out, right? So when you see a bearish signal, it could guide you to maybe take some profit as well, all right? So Songho, right? So this is Hong Leong Asia. Let's take a look. You see that, I think not too bad. I don't know whether you're thinking to buy or whether you're bought and then you want to think about getting out, but if you've bought previously, I think pretty good because we had some bullish signals coming out. 16 December, just about a month back, more than a month back. The green 20 days moving average line, all right, started to turn up as well. Another bullish signal came out, and look at this, right? The green line is still obviously stopping up. The longer term trend, the red and blue, I mean, that one has been up since last year, right? So I think it looks pretty good, right? I think maybe a bit of resistance, maybe around that 9.6 to 9.5. We can, break these levels, target maybe all the way to like $1. I think that could be a psychological resistance level to watch. If we can break $1, we may even see a bullish signal again. All right, so that is Hong Leong Asia. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. I think anything. So let me go into this, turn on this for you guys to see, right? So you can see right over here, if I can turn on what we call the trailing support line. So very quickly, you can see once we turn on this trailing support, okay, maybe I'll just go maybe from here, right? Look at this, right? So we have these bullish signals coming out and a trailing support, right? Look at this trailing support. So a trailing support essentially, like the name sounds, right? It's a trailing support. Trailing means like following, right? It follows the prices as it moves up, giving it some allowance and breathing space. Hopefully it could go up more and then you follow it more, right? So as long as we stay above the trailing support line, we are good to go. All right, so look at this, right? Up, flat, up, flat, up, flat, up, flat, up, flat. We follows it, and finally you can see, right? We went below it, and then not so good because that's where, as I mentioned, right? We give you the breathing space, we give you the allowance, but yet you still go below it. That means a little bit shaky, like a bit of a selling pressure coming back. Does it make sense? All right. So that's where you could take some profit as well. All right. And look at this, right? Again, we got a bullish signals from a resistance, a trailing resistance. We flip back to a trailing support line. All right. And look at this. Look at this, right? So a bullish signal, another bullish signal right here. Now the trailing support is obviously following prices as it's moving up. So I think it looks pretty good, right? I think we can stay above the 90 cents. 90 cents, if I can draw this line right here, that would be like a horizontal support level. But to give a little bit more allowance, right? You can see the trailing support is below the horizontal support. So it gives a bit more allowance, right? So as long as you stay above the 90 cents or maybe even above the trailing support, it looks pretty bullish still, right? So this is Hong Leong Asia. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn and Zee, go ahead. Bervyn.
Sure, thanks, Joey. I think just now Ho was asking about this IFAST. All right, okay, so let me just put my screen onto here. Okay, so there we go. Here we have IFAST. I think very quickly we see 1GT bearish signals come in. Quickly after that, 1GT bullish signals, bearish signals, bullish signals. Like we mentioned just now, this would mean that the counter has been moving sideways, pretty much range bound. So what does that mean? That means that in the near term as well, we are not seeing any bullish movements or bullish up move above this $8 resistance level. And that would mean that we do not want to, actually get in just yet as well. Because especially if we do not see a longer term trend pointing up, the longer term trend is still very much very flat. If you're intending to ride it for a longer term, you may be just trading between the, let's say, the $7.30, right here, $7.30 support towards the $8 level. So unless you are looking to do range bound trading, I would say right now you will not be looking to buy this counter just yet. And if you're looking to buy for like a longer term as well, I think you have to wait, or you would like to wait for the 20 days moving average to start to point up, go above the $8 level, followed of course by the price to break above the $8 level to form what we call like a new support, because in the past prices hit as high as $8.50 before it came down. So we are looking towards the nearer term, especially if prices are not able to break above this $8 level. I think the $8.50 level, I think, will is of course out of the question. So if we turn on our 1GT trailing support and resistance, prices are obviously below the trailing resistance, so that's not what we want to actually see. But look at this right here. I think it is trading very close to the trailing resistance at this point. So if we are able to break above this trailing resistance right here above the 740 level, that's when maybe we will see this 1GT bullish signal that will come in as well. But of course, this will be the sell zone that most traders will be looking to actually get out of this counter, especially if you get it. So I think very quickly, I think IFAST is still in a consolidation phase. Nothing interesting happening yet until we break above these $8 level. All right, okay, Ho. So I think Z, can you take us through the next counter?
Okay, sure. All right, so I see a couple of you guys actually asking about CapitaLand investment, right? So Peter, AR, and I think also Maggie as well is asking about CapitaLand investment. Okay, so let me just cover that quickly. So for CapitaLand investment, right, we can actually see that in 2024, actually even at the start of like 2023, somewhere April, we can see that the downtrend is actually firmly intact, right? And even if we turn on the 1GT signals, we can see that over the past year, from 2023 all the way to 2024, there are actually more 1GT bearish signal than the bullish signal. And also we can also confirm that the trend is now why, because the 200 days moving average is above the 100 days and above the 20 days moving average, right? So as of now, what is actually happening right over here, right, is that very recently we actually see a 1GT bearish signal coming out on the 28th of October, right over here. And subsequently, we do see that, the 20 days moving average crosses below both the longer term moving average. And that is actually not a very good thing, because what we want is we want to see all the moving averages heading up instead of breaking down each other, right? So right now, in terms of the short-term trend-wise, it's definitely heading down and it's still pointing down. There's still no signs of, stabilization or, moving sideways or even like heading up yet, right? It's still pointing down. What we want to see is, price to actually kind of like stabilize first and starts to point up. But as of now, short-term trend is down. And let's take a look at the longer term trend. So longer term trend, if we take a closer look at the 100 days and 200 days moving averages, right? We can see that you see this 100 days moving average is also starting to point down now. So for this counter, you want to be a bit more cautious because if we were to draw a support level, the support level would be somewhere around here, about 245. And if let's say you maybe you don't want to draw the support level and you just want to let the indicator show you where the support level is, this is where the support level would be around at as well, about 242 to 245, right? And if prices were to actually break below this support level, definitely we will see another 1 GT bearish signal, and you want to be a bit more cautious for this counter. All right, so that will be a very quick analysis of CapitaLand investment. I'll pass the time back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much, Z. Right, very good analysis there. So let me go ahead to cover the next one. I think a lot of you are asking about this stock. So, guys, when we are going through, the chat messages, right, we try to cover those that more people are asking about, right? So we'll look through and see if a lot of people are asking them. We'll try to give you a bit more priority. Of course, if you're a bit nicer, you type please. Then also maybe we will, cover yours lah. Okay, so let's see. Let me see. Okay, let's see. I think got some asking about her. Let's see. We have, I think her, right? Athena asking about her as well. All right, this is her. Another of you asking about her, please. All right, so this one got please. Okay, good. her got please. Thank you. All right, so maybe we'll just do her since a few of you are asking, and then plus got one please there. Okay, so let's cover her right now. Okay, so this is her, guys. You can see that not too bad, not too bad. In fact, this is one of the stocks that I actually shared since last year, October, September, because the trend actually started to turn up. Look at this, right? We were actually consolidating right over here. If I can just turn off the signals for later, I'll turn it on again. But without all these signals and stuff, right? Essentially just doing a manual analysis, we were actually consolidating below this 25 cents resistance level. Very boring, nothing much, but it woke up in September. All right, I don't know what happened, but it woke up, all right, and we broke this 25 cents level, right? The green 20 days moving average line started to turn up, right? The longer term trend was up already, but it was still just a bit sideways, right? In the short term. When the green line turned up, look at this, right? We broke the resistance. There we go, right? There we go. So let me go to turn on the signals right away. So I think that was when it really woke up, all right? And you can see, right? When it woke up, we also had a signal that, don't know whether the signal woke it up or what, but basically we had a signal as well just before it woke up. And there we go, right over here, all the way up about a 86% in just about 3 months, right? Of course, got a bearish signal. That's where we are seeing a bit of profit taking. Can take some profit if you want, no problem, right? And let's take a look at it right now. So you can see that over the past 3 months, right? Let me go ahead to draw another resistance level right here. I think this level will be key, right? 0.52, right? 0.52. I can just draw this resistance level. Why is that a resistance? But a resistance is where whenever you near that level, that's where we could potentially see some selling, right? So you can see over here, we hit it there, and we got a pretty bearish reversal candle right here and started to sell down. So that's the first sign of that being a resistance, right? The next one would be here, right? We hit it there and then we came back down again. So that's another resistance, and you can see over the past 2-3 days, we are attempting to go near it. I don't know whether it will come down, but it seems like we're going near that 0.52. Again, now it's 0.475, right? So we hit to near 5.2, right? 5.1 or 5.0 or 5 something, right? Near 5.2. That is potentially where we could also see some, maybe even some selling pressure coming out. Does it make sense? All right, so that's where you want to take note, right? So I think that's a very key level, 52 cents, the key level, right? But let's go into talk about the signal. So as I mentioned, right, we got a bullish signal, started to push up, a bearish signal, you can see came down a bit. But over the past week, right, we have a new bullish signal coming out, right? Bullish signal coming out. So that's a good sign of strength, even though, right, we are below the 5.2 level, right? As I mentioned, right, previously, we're below the resistance, but the signal came out, right? That just shows a little bit of signs of strength. We could actually be attempting, right, to break that resistance level. Of course, that will be another confirmation, right? If we can break the resistance level, right? So right now, it seems like, no, we got a bullish signal. Not it seems like, but in fact, we have a bullish signal, right? And the green line that was down, starting to point up. I mean, the red and blue, the one you say is up since last year, all right? But the short-term trend has started to turn up over the past week. So I think looks pretty good, who is asking about it? Like Athena, all right? And also we have some of you are asking about it as well. Go ahead to, I think, put this stock in your watch list if we can break the 5.2 or maybe 5.3, all right, resistance level. That would be a very good next further confirmation, all right? And that's where potentially we could see even more upside. I think targets could be revised even higher to 60 cents, to 65, 70. That would be the next phase, all right? So that is Weher, all right? I hope you guys can put this stock in your watch as well, all right? So yeah, very good. Thank you, Athena, all right? Awesome. I'm glad that helped as well, all right? And yeah, let's move on. Let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next one, all right?
All right, thanks, Joey. Okay, I think Yong Chao was asking about Top Glove just now. Okay, so I think on my screen now we have Top Glove. We have Top Glove here. I think there is a pretty clear sign that, you know, there's a little bit of reversal with, you know, higher lows being formed as prices started to push higher as well. All right, but in the nearer term, we obviously see a 1 GT bearish signal that actually just came out. So I just want to quickly run through why this 1 GT signal or 1 GT bearish signal actually came out. So in September, we actually saw that prices reversed higher or broke above the trailing resistance, and we subsequently saw two 1 GT signal that actually came out, two 1 GT bullish signal that actually came out. Why did the second signal actually come out? It would be actually because if we turn off the 1 GT trailing support and turn on the horizontal resistance, we actually saw that prices actually broke above the horizontal resistance of about 35 to 36 cents. That is why the signal actually came out. So in the nearer term, with the 1 GT bearish signal actually coming out, I hope, Yong Chao, you have a trading plan that has a stop loss in place in case prices actually hit down further. Why would I say that? It is just because that being the support or the current support, because prices had actually previously broke above it. If prices once again break below it and we see no signs of the prices reversing up from this level once again, we may see another 1 GT bearish signal that will actually come out. As I mentioned just now, maybe there is a lot more selling pressure that is, you know, present if we have one more 1 GT bearish signal. So we do not want to have a case where, you know, you do not sell and then the prices continue to hit lower and lower and lower and lower, then you are actually having a profit and then it becomes a loss. That's not what we actually want to see for you as well. So, but right now, I think the resistance is about 44 cents, where, you know, sellers actually came in to push prices back down. So if we want to actually get in, or if you're looking to actually get in, I think the first thing, like I mentioned multiple times, is we want to wait for this 20 days moving average to flatten out and then start to point up once again. And perhaps if we have a 1 GT bullish signal that will come out if this trailing resistance is actually broken, that will be maybe a good sign to have the continuous longer term trend. You can continue to ride the longer term trend if that is the case as well. So I think that's a very, very quick analysis for Top Glove. Maybe Z, can you bring us through the next counter?
Okay, sure. Joey, I think just now when you say maybe when you put please, a lot of people actually started to put please in their comments. So maybe for me, I will just choose the one that people are asking more. So I saw that, you know, Patrick is asking about Riverstone.
Thanks guys for putting please in the chat. All right, really appreciate you putting please. I was just joking when I said that, but after that everybody all please. Right?
Yeah, so it became a bit hard to choose. But okay, no worries. Now you will do Riverstone. Okay, so I will okay, I've shared my screen. Okay, so for Riverstone, right? At the start of 2024, we, you know, even before 2024, or somewhere in October 2023, right over here we see a bunch of 1 GT bullish signal coming out, right? And the uptrend confirmation actually started when we see that, you know, the 20 days moving average crossed above the 100 days moving average, and subsequently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 more 1 GT bullish signals coming out, right? And before this 1 GT bearish signal came out, this is about close to 72% rise. So this is actually a pretty good like signal right over here, I would say. And after that, subsequently over the past months, you know, from August somewhere to about November, that's where we actually see some consolidation happening, and that's where we also see the 20 days moving average started to consolidate and move sideways, right? So right over here we can actually draw our support, right? So very clearly one of our support will be right over here. This is where price broke above it, and when price came back down, selling pressure came back, you know, this is where the price was actually supported, right? And in terms of resistance, in terms of the consolidation range, here is where I would draw a resistance level at about this $1 psychological level. That's where selling pressure came in, pushed prices back all the way down. But here at about 85 cents is actually supported, right? And over here, right over here on the where is this? On 13th of November, we actually see another 1 GT bullish signal coming out as well, right? But as of now, there is no 1 GT bearish signal or any exit signals yet. But in terms of the shorter term trend, right? Shorter term trend, longer term trend definitely is still up. Both of them are still pointing up. But in terms of the shorter term trend, we are actually seeing some short term weakness very slightly, because we can see that it starts to point down, but it is actually still holding above this $1 psychological level, right? This $1 psychological level, so I should turn it to green, because previously it was a resistance, now it's actually a support. So for those who are asking about Riverstone, right, one thing that maybe I would do if I were you is I can actually set a price alert, right? Set a price alert near this $1, so maybe about 101, 102. This is where I can set a price alert. Okay, so I can set a price alert at, you know, about 101, 102 to let me know that when price are actually reaching this level, this is the level that I should actually take note of, and this could be a potential level for entry as well. Why? Because if I were to turn on the trailing support and resistance, we can see that this is where the support level is at, and when we actually want to buy into an uptrend, right, one of the zones that we are actually thinking of buying would be buy near the support zone. So if I were you guys who are asking about Riverstone, this would be where I would set my price alert. And in terms of taking profit wise, this would be the level that maybe you can consider to take some profits if you're already in some positions. If prices were to reverse back up and head towards this $1.10, this is where we could potentially take some partial profits as well. And of course, targets to be revised higher if we can actually break and hold above this $1.10. All right, so that will be Riverstone. I'll pass the time back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, so I think now we will go on to the, let's see, how many counters have we covered? We have covered like a total of 16 counters already in the Singapore market. So I hope all of you guys are getting value over here. I hope that we are indeed covering our stocks. And the same thing, right? I say my apologies if we cannot cover all the stocks. We are trying our best to go through all the comments. And those of you who are giving us all the like and hearts, would it be okay, guys? Hit the like and heart button so that we can have a little bit more views and this live stream in the future as well. Hit the like and heart button. I think there's like some hearts like flying around. All right, not too sure that you guys can see it. Thank you so much for those of you who are giving us all the hearts and stuff. Right, awesome. Oh, I saw it. Thank you. Okay, very good. So let me go on, guys, to share the next one. I think the next one would be this company called Sheng. All right, Louis, I think Louis CS, you're asking about this company called Sheng. So let me just cover it very quickly. Right, Sheng. So you can see for Sheng, I think not too bad. Longer term trend is up, looking at the red and blue line. And also we have some bullish signals, right? Not just last week or yesterday, but in fact since August. All right, August, we got a bullish signal, 31st July to be exact. All right, got a bullish signal, another one, and I think this really started to spark off that move higher. All right, in October, 1st of October. Look at this, all the way up. I would say, I mean, if you have followed the signals maybe from here to here, 11% over gain, all right, in just about 4 or 5 months, right? I mean, it's Sheng, right? So it's a bit more stable, steady. I think they do pay out a pretty good dividend income as well, all right? So I think not too bad, right? Just that right now you can see that the longer term trend is up, right? But the short term trend, right, which was like up, right, it was up. I mean, it was like sideways and then up And then now it is starting to flatten out, right? Starting to flatten out. So I think it's okay. We're just seeing a bit of a sideways consolidation in the short term. If I can draw this support level right here around the $1.60, right? I think it looks pretty okay above 160, right? Above 160, that is a support level all the way to maybe around that 168 to 170. That would be a little bit of a resistance level as well for Sheng, right? So I think a few things to take note of. I think if you can, just stay above 160 is still okay. That could be actually be an opportunity, all right, to get in on dips, all right? Because I mean, the uptrend is intact. We got a bullish signal. It still looks pretty okay. And if I can just turn on, all right, what we call the trailing support, so you get a better idea. Like, look at this, right? Since we had the first signal in July, right, a trailing support pops up, right? There we go. It follows Sheng price as it moves up, right? And are we still above the trailing support line, this green line? The answer is yes. In fact, just now I actually draw the horizontal support at about 160, but the trailing support is slightly lower, right? Why is it lower? Well, this trailing support, it accounts for the volatility of stock. It gives it allowance and breathing space, all right, for it to move up, hopefully even more, all right, and that's where you see it's slightly lower than support level. So I think it's still okay, right? As long as you stay above that 160, it's still pretty good. And maybe even, right, if we were to break, just maybe, right, if we can break the 168 to 170, can we have another bullish signal coming out? Maybe like this? Well, it may, I think possibly, right? Possibly, and that's where we could start to see even more upside, all right? And then, by another maybe, to 175 to 180, that could be the next round of move, right? Targets could be even higher, all right? So that is for Sheng. Okay, I think I saw some questions as well. Let me go ahead to answer some of the questions over here, all right? And for those of you who are new, I think we have like YC Wang. And guys, I know you are typing the stocks as well, right, in the chat, which we are doing our best to cover them. Me, Bervyn and Zee, we are doing it on a rotational basis. But if you have any questions as well, right? Like YC Wang over here, go ahead to type it in the chat as well, right? So it's not just about stocks, but any questions, we'll do our best to cover them as well. Of course, unless you're asking about the entire strategy, then we can't cover over here. Then you probably have to attend a webinar, which I placed the link in the chat already previously. All right. So, but if you're asking some questions, like, we can do our best to answer the question as well, so that you have a better idea of, the indicator, maybe a little bit of some parts of the strategy you're not clear about. We can do our best to clarify. All right. So let me go to answer YC Wang's comment and question, right? I'm new here. May I ask, what is the first value in a 1GT indicator? All right. Okay. Very simple. Right. Essentially, just to keep it simple, we have, let me just turn off, right? So we are looking at the 20 days moving average. That is the green line, all right? 20 days moving average. We are looking at the 100 days moving average as well, all right? And we have the 200 days moving average, the blue line. So this kind of give us a quick indication, all right, a quick representation of the trend, not just in the longer term, but also in the short term, right? But you don't just look at trend, right? Because basically trend is one thing, but you want to know how to be alerted to know when to get in as another confirmation, when you see a bullish signal. And of course, some other things that we focus on, like candlestick and volume and all the stuff, right? So as I say, we don't have time to explain everything, but I hope that answers the question. Wang, all right? So maybe attend one of those free webinars to find out a little bit more, right? Maybe Tim can just put in the chat the link to the web class, the webinar that we have. I think next week is Chinese New Year, so we don't have one. Maybe next week we have one, all right? So hope to see you there, Wang, all right? You can learn a little bit more, all right? And it will be a bit clearer. Okay, let me see if you have any questions as well. Let's see, right, before I pass on the mic. Okay, so I think that is pretty much for Sheng, all right? That's pretty much for Sheng. So I'll just pass on the mic to Bervyn. All yours.
All right, okay. So on my screen right here, we have, let me just throw up my screen. Okay, we have a venture. I think just now somebody was asking about venture Corp. Let me see. Here we go. I think Edward was asking about venture. Hopefully, Edward, you're still here. Okay, so we have venture. I think very clearly, we have 3, 1 GT bearish signals that came out. So as you can see, every time there is a new bearish signal that comes out, we actually saw that selling pressure increases. So prices actually headed lower as the 1 GT bearish signal came out. So that's not a good sign. I think not a good sign in general for this counter, as the moving averages actually show as well. So the 200 days moving average is above the 100 days and above the 20 days moving average. Not a good indication that we are about to see any reversals just yet, but a little bit of consolation is that, you know, we saw a little bit of buyers come back to protect the 1290 to 1280 level as well. So I think if we are able to see, you know, prices rebound higher in the nearer term, rebound high, maybe perhaps above the $14 resistance first, above the $14 psychological resistance first, then maybe we can see the 20 days moving average start to also point up, go above the 100 days and 200 days moving average. But as of right now, it still looks a little bit weak with the 20 days moving average still pointing down. So if you're looking to get in Edward, I think perhaps maybe you want to wait for the prices to show a bit of sign of a reversal before you actually get in, because the 1 GT bearish signals are still valid. We do not see any new 1 GT bullish signals. So if we turn on our trailing support lines, right here, since from the top there, we actually see the red line actually started to trail down. Prices went down, flatten, went down, flatten, went down, flatten again, and now we are flat again. But we have prices very close to the trailing resistance, but nothing just yet. If we are able to see something happen or prices actually push higher, yes, then maybe I would say you can put this counterbalance onto your watch list. But as of right now, the longer term trend, I would not advise you to actually get in just yet. All right, okay. So that is actually for venture. Z, can you bring us to the next stop?
Okay, sure. So I think somebody is asking about SingPost, right? RN is asking about SingPost. Okay, so I'll be covering SingPost quickly now. So for SingPost, right, at the start, you know, since the start of 2023, even prior to that, right, 2022, we actually already saw, you know, the downtrend is pretty much intact over the past year until 2024, where we actually start to see some reversal playing out right over here, where the 20 days moving average cross above the longer term moving average. And that's where we also start to see 1 GT bullish signal coming out right over here. And this was actually about a 22% increase in price from the low to somewhere where the 1 GT bearish signal came out, right? But at this point in time, even though the uptrend reversal is starting to play out, there wasn't any confirmation in the longer term trend yet, right? Because even when let me just zoom in a bit because it might be a bit messy over here. Okay, so right over here we see the 20 days moving average going up, right? But the longer term trend, we still see that, you know, the 200 days, right, is actually above the 100 days. So not so good yet in terms of the longer term trend. Only somewhere in August of 2024, right over here, that's where we actually start to see the longer term trend crossing above each other. So 100 days moving average above the 200 days. And this is where the short-term trend somewhere in September also start to gain some strength, right? In the short term, where we see that 20 days moving average start to head up and break above the 100 and 200 days moving average. So this is where we also start to see a 1 GT bullish signal coming out again. And prices rally all the way up. And this is where we actually see, you know, the trend, right? In terms of the trend, 20 days is above the 100 days and above the 200 days. And that is what we want to see in an uptrend, all right? So subsequently, when prices rally all the way up, somewhere at, you know, 26th of November, we actually see another 1 GT bullish signal coming out. And this is because price have actually broke above the horizontal resistance right over here. Let me just turn it on and show you guys. Price have broke above the horizontal resistance, and we actually see another 1 GT bullish signal coming out, right? So right now, the most recent signal that we see is actually a 1 GT bearish signal, because that's where, you know, at the resistance right over here, 60 cents, we actually see some selling pressure returning, right? And sellers push the price all the way back down towards this 50 cents level, which is also quite a crucial support that we want to take note of, because this is where, you know, in November, we actually see buying pressure coming in to support the price at this psychological 50 cents level right now, right? So maybe for those who are asking, RN who is asking about SingPost, right? You want to take note of these two key levels. One is at 50 cents, which is the support level, and the other one would be at 60 cents, which is the resistance level. Okay, sorry, let me just put this back. Okay, so right now we actually start to see, the 20 days moving average is starting to point back up again. So that is actually a good sign in terms of the short-term strength, because it's starting to align with both the longer-term trend, which is the 100 days, and the 200 days moving average. So if I were to turn on the trailing support and resistance, we can also see that, prices are trying to form higher lows over the past month since December, right? From here to here, and hopefully it's here, right? And it actually breaks above this trailing resistance, where we actually see another one GT bullish signal coming out. All right. So for those of you who already have SingPost, right, maybe you might want to consider to take some profits near the 60 cents level as well. There's no wrong to take some profits, put the money in your pocket first, right? But if prices were to actually break and hold above the 60 cents level, where we can potentially see price head towards, would be around this 70 cents level over here. So if price can actually break and hold above the 60 cents resistance, we can revise our targets higher to about 70 cents. Okay, so that will be a very quick analysis for SingPost. And then I'll pass the time back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, so let me go ahead to just do a quick summary, guys. All right, those of you who are just joining us only, right, welcome to this session called Ask Me Any Singapore Stocks. So we have covered like about 19 Singapore stocks already. Okay, now I'm covering the 20th one right now, and that would be SGX, right? SGX, I think Praful, you're asking about SGX, right? So this is SGX, I'll just cover in a bit, but let me just do a very quick summary again, guys, for those of you who have just joined us, maybe you're not too sure what we have covered or what we have not, all right? Here's a list of stocks that we have already covered very quickly, right? We have the first one, Oiltek Sets. Number two, Hoppa, Bumitama Agri, Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, Frencken, Centurion. We have the banks, right? OCBC, UOB, DBS. We have a Hong Leong Asia covered as well, IFAST, CapitaLand Investment, Glove, Riverstone, Sheng, Venture. Z just covered SingPost, and now I'll be talking about SGX. All right, SGX. And by the way, guys, I mean, now we are covering the stocks that you guys are want, right? But just hang on there, because at the end of today's session, right, just maybe about another 10, 15 more minutes, that's where we will go ahead to share one of the stocks that we like. Each of us will share one. Me, Bervyn and Zee will take them to share one stock that we like. All right. And hopefully you guys can put this stock in your watch list as well. All right. So let me go into cover SGX right now, and that would be it right over here. So you can see this is SGX. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think for SGX, if you ask me last year, well, let me just turn this off first, right? You can see if you asked me last year for SGX, it was actually a little bit boring, right? Why do I say that? Well, essentially, it was just moving sideways, and the trend in the longer term, in the short term, it was just sideways, right? Below this very key resistance, the 960, 950 resistance. You can see many times we just came down, right? Came down. We just couldn't get above that 960, right? So it's just a little bit frustrating, but finally, all right, we broke the $9.60, 980 gave way as well. You can see, right? The green 20 days moving average, which was pretty much sideways, started to turn up aggressively. And then we go all the way up, right? So I think that really sparked off the whole momentum in the market somewhere in August. You can see that's where now we are at a much higher place, right, in terms of supports becoming higher. So from like about 960 to 10, 11, now I would say support-wise, if I can draw it for you, well, maybe this around the $12. Why do I say $12? Well, in fact, over the past 2 weeks, you can see that we are hovering, all right, just above the $12 mark. There's some bargain hunting coming in just around the $12 level as well. All right, so this is for SGX. Longer term trend is up, all right, right above the blue line. Short term trend, it was up, sideways, up. Now, I would say slightly pointing down, maybe sideways. I mean, it was like down a little bit, but now it's starting to flatten out. So I think a little bit of a sideways consolidation. So if I can just turn on the signals, which gives you an opinion in just seconds, right? Pump. There we go. What do we see? Well, right over here, well, as I mentioned, right over here, you see, right? We had this bullish signal that came out. When we broke that resistance level, the 960 resistance, right? And there we go, right? From here, another bullish signal here as well. We're not even more, right? And that would be, okay. So I think it looks pretty good right now. I mean, from the very first bullish signal we had in August, right? All the way to this, and then now we are here a 29% gain. I mean, you have followed the signal, 29% gain in this about, I would say, 5 months, 5 to 6 months. Right, so it looks pretty good, right? These bullish signals are still playing out. Are there any bearish signal right now? Not yet, right? Not yet. I mean, let's take a look, right? In fact, I can just turn on the trailing support level, right? So let me just quickly turn off all the drawings. So very clearly, you can see when this bullish signal came out, we have the trailing support level we just talked about, right? It give it allowance, allowing it to move up even more, all right? Potentially going even higher, and it follows it even more, all right? So it goes up, flat, and now this is where the trailing support level is. So you can see price have dipped down a little bit, and this trailing support is also where the $12 level is. Remember the $12 horizontal support level which I drew, right? So it's also right over there. So I think, as long as you stay above the $12, I think it is okay, right? As long as you stay above $12, we go to like 12.20, 12.30, 12.10, above 12. I think it's still okay, right? That is where the uptrend is still okay, right? Still okay. But if one fine day, I mean, after like August to now, right? One fine day, if we were to go below, right? We go below 12, we go to like 11.95 or 90, and then we are below, right? And then not so good. That's where we would have a bearish signal. All right, of course, this green line will start to point down as well as another confirmation of more downside. Then might want to be careful. All right, so I think that's how, just by looking at the signals, I can guide you. All right, and so how does it work, right? I mean, like, do we need to stare at this screen? I mean, let's say you have got in on this company, right? They bought it over here, and then you're making profits, right? So do you stare at the screen the whole day and then see whether the bearish signal comes out, and then you can know what to do, right? The answer is no, right? You don't have to stare at the screen all day. We don't have to do that as well. All right, we can set an alert, right? Very quickly set an alert for it. Right over here, right click, right, set an alert. You can put this stock in your watch list as well, right? And an alert, and you can simply choose, right? The one good trend pro indicator. You can put buy or sell alert once per bar. Pump. So whenever there is a signal, whether is it a bullish or a bearish signal, I will be alerted by a what? By an app notification, by an email, by a pop-up if I'm on my screen. And that's how it can guide you to get out, if that bearish signal comes out. All right. So yeah, I think this is for SGX, right? So Prof, I hope that you have a better idea. I think it looks okay. All right, looks okay. We're still above 12. If you want to get even more confirmation, right? Well, as I say, wait for another bullish signal plus the green line. I mean, you can see the green line was like that, right? Flat, then pump up, right? So now the green line maybe will flat, then you will pump up, or even better lah. That will be another confirmation, all right? Whereby we are starting to see the move higher. All right, so yeah, attend one of those free webinars as I say to find out a little bit more, maybe how you could have access to this tool, right? That could just give you a quick opinion whether to get in or out in just seconds. All right, okay, so let me pass on the mic to Bervyn to cover the next stock. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think Jimmy was asking about PROPNEX. Okay, so PROPNEX right here. I think if Jimmy, you have bought very late of last year up to today, congratulations. I think it ran up quite a little bit. But looking at the trend, I think the 20 days or the 20 days moving average had crossed above the 100 and 200 days moving average very, very recently, only November, late November. And then in the most recent times in January, we actually saw the 100 days moving average finally crossing above the 100 days moving average finally crossed above the 200 days moving average. So right now we are at the start of a longer term uptrend with the 20 days moving average above the 100, above the 200, which is a very, very good sign. So I think that is a good play, especially if you are continuing to hold. I think what you're wondering is, when do you get out, or is it time to sell, or is it time to buy more? I think with the longer term trend starting to point up, definitely if you are thinking to actually get in, is a good sign. But where would you consider to get in? I think personally, I would say the psychological $1 level. Psychological $1 level is one that you actually want to look out for. Or like what Joey said, this is levels that you can actually set a price alert on as well. So if prices come towards this level, maybe perhaps that is where you actually want to consider to get in, especially if the 20 days moving average is still pointing up. But I think recently, or the past 3 days actually, sellers actually come in when prices actually approach this $1.10 resistance level. Okay, so why is this $1.10 a resistance level? So if you just look back in the past, we actually saw that as and when prices approach this level, there is selling pressure that actually came in to push prices back down again. So I mean, it looks like history is repeating itself a little bit, but what we want is prices to hold above this $1 level. I would say the short-term momentum is still very, very much intact if that is the case. So if we turn on our 1GT signals, all right, then we have 3 signals that actually appeared starting from September with no exit signals or no bearish signals that had actually appeared just yet. So this is a good sign. This is a good sign. It means that, you know, the trend is still very, very much intact. Selling pressure is minimal, especially if we saw that, you know, plus 3 days we've been selling down a bit, but no direct effect. The $1 psychological support hasn't been tested just yet. So I think if Jimmy, if you're looking for maybe perhaps to protect your profit, maybe you can put like a stop limit order just below the $1 level to protect. Maybe perhaps something look like that, just somewhere below it, you know, to protect your profits, especially, you know, if we start to see any 1GT signals or 1GT bearish signals that comes in. So I mean, you want to protect your profit as well. So I think if this $1.10 level is able to give way, I think perhaps maybe we can go, I will draw the upside targets to about the 120 level first for the next resistance. All right, okay, Jimmy, that is all for PROPNEX. Z, can you bring us through the next one?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me just go through this chat and let me see. I think somebody is asking about Wilmar. Let me just share my screen quickly over here. Okay, I hope you guys can see Wilmar. So Chris is actually asking about Wilmar, right? So Wilmar, if we can see from this, right, even if I don't need to draw a line over here, you guys can tell that, you know, the trend since 2023 has been in a downtrend, right? The downtrend is pretty much intact. Even in 2024 as well, we can still see that, you know, in June all the way to September, the 200 days moving average is still above the 100 and above the 200, and that's not so good, not so good, right? Somewhere in August we start to see a potential reversal playing out, but not yet, because potential reversal because 20 days moving average did indeed cross above the longer term, but the longer term is still not so ideal, like still not so good. The 200 days moving average is still above the 100 days moving average, right? And subsequently, you know, price actually reversed. There's some short-term strength. Not saying that when the longer term trend is down, right, there isn't any short-term strength. There could still be short-term strength like what we are seeing here, right? But the overall longer term trend is still down. And when we are thinking about buying, you want to think about buying when both the short-term trend and the longer term trend is up, so that, you know, the likelihood of prices heading up more is higher, right? Okay, it's higher. So let's just go back to this. Very recently, right, we actually see a 1GT bearish signal right over here on the 1st of November, right over here. And there isn't any 1GT bullish signal coming out just yet. But in terms of the trend itself, let's just take a look at the trend, what happened over the past few months. So over the past few months, we can actually see that, you know, the 20 days moving average actually dipped back below the longer term moving average again, right? And that's not so good. That's not so good. But the longer term trend is starting to actually head sideways. We can see that it started to consolidate sideways. And even the 20 days moving average, after it dipped back down, it started to flatten out as well. So all 3 moving averages are actually heading sideways. So we can actually see some consolidation happening. Somewhere around here at this $3, where you can see, you know, buyers actually came back in 1 time, 2 times to actually support the price, right? And right over here, we can actually see some resistance as well. Let me just turn this to red, right, over the 315. So over the past few months since November, prices have been kind of consolidating between this $3 to 315 range. So what we want to see is that, you know, price can actually break and hold above this resistance, as well as, you know, the 20 days moving average, right, can start to point up more and cross back above the longer term moving average, okay? But if let's say we want to take a look at, you know, the key levels, right, if prices, you know, let me just clear all these drawings. Okay, so if prices were to, you know, consolidate and then actually break down below this $3, right, which is the temporary support that we have drawn, the immediate support that we have drawn over here, the other key support that you would really want to take note of and you would really want to set a price alert on would be at this $2.95, because this is where the lows were at in 2024. And if prices is unable to hold, that's where we want to be a bit more cautious for this counter as well. Okay, so that would be a very quick analysis for Wilmar. I'll pass the time back to Joey.
All right, thank you so much, Z. All right, so yes, guys, I think we are almost reaching the end of this Ask Me Any Singapore Stocks live session. All right, so I think we have gone on for almost 2 hours. So I think like we started at 10:30 now, it's almost like 12:30 already. So I tell you what, let's move on. All right, I hope that we have covered most of the stock that you guys are asking about. I think we have some of you asking about like OCBC. Naresh, we covered OCBC, is one of the banks that we covered at the, I think somewhere at the beginning of the live stream. Good, check it out, you can watch the replay. All right, and I think some of you are asking, like Michael Anthony, I think you're asking about MFA. That would be a US stock. All right, so Michael, maybe you can join the next live stream, the next live show next week. That will be on US. Today will be Singapore. Last week was US, so this week Singapore, next week back to US. All right, so Michael, maybe you can join MFA. I mean, to find out about MFA, you can join the next live show, and perhaps our team just put the link in the chat maybe for the next live session. All right, and that's where those of you who are keen in the US market, right, that's where you could join next Friday live Ask Me Any Stock show. Okay, very good. So I think these are pretty good questions. Let me go ahead to see right now in terms of any questions before I share with you guys the stocks that is in my watch list. All right, okay, so very good. I think we can go ahead to cover, right, to share with you guys the stock. Okay, very good. So now, what is the one stock I will share with you guys that has been my watch list? I think we are starting to see a bit more upside. Well, this stock is none other than YZJ. All right, it's not Yangzijiang Shipbuilding, it's another one. All right, that is a YZJ Financial Holding. Right, team, just place the name in the chat so it's a bit clearer. So YZJ FINHLDG. Right, the code is YF8. All right, so this is Yangzijiang Financial Holding. Why do I like this stock? Well, essentially, this stock has been in my watch list since the beginning of last year, all right, because we started to see signs of the trend turning up, not just in the longer term, but of course in the short term, from a bit of a sideways, we started to really push up. And if you ask me right now, the longer term uptrend is intact. We are indeed attempting to push even higher. And if I can simply just turn on the buy and sell signals, you can see that we had a couple of signals. So, see some bearish signals. We came down a little bit, but I think it all really started somewhere around like April, May, when we got some bullish signals. Went up, bearish signal, a bit of selling, while I just moved sideways a little bit. And the most recent signal, right over here on the 26th of September, right over here. I think that really started off, right? That really started off because you can see when we broke this resistance, I can draw this resistance level for you right over here, right? This was a very key resistance that we were just trading below. We kind of broke above it, or I kind of like just broke above it, and that is where we got a bullish signal, right? Starting to see it push even higher, a bit of a consolidation, and this signal seems to be still in play. Does it make sense? All right, so I think it looks quite good. Why am I covering it right now? Because as we are talking, right, I can just draw a resistance right over here. I think we are seeing resistance at about 0.45, right? To be exact, it's about 0.45, right? Because that was where somewhere in like October, we touched it. We got a pretty bearish candle, and we started to see some selling coming down. And it was like sideways, right? Look at this. The green line was up, and then it moved sideways. But over the past 1 week, right? Over the past 2 weeks, you can see that we are seeing signs of the 20 days moving average that represents the short-term trend starting to point up, right? So I think it looks pretty good, right? That could be a sign, especially, right, if we can break above the 45 cents. Now it's what, 455, right? So as I'm talking, right, this is live, so as I'm talking right now, it's 455. Of course, you want to have a bit more confirmation, you can wait for the close of today or maybe up to next week as well. But if you can go above that 4.5, right, we go to 4.6 or 4.7, or that is where, all right, we could potentially even see a new signal coming out, a bullish signal, and targets could be revised again, as I say, to 50 cents, maybe to 55. That would be a new upwards momentum again, because we have finally got out of this 4-5 months of a sideways consolidation. All right, the uptrend can continue to another face. All right, so that would be for Yangzijiang Financial Holding. Right, so of course I've set my alerts on it to say, right, we can for any of the stocks, any asset classes. Today we are covering Singapore stocks, but for any asset classes, anything that is in your watch list, right, if you're going to be alerted whether to get out or to get in, you can set an alert, right, but to know if there are any signals that comes out. So I've set my alert. If another bullish signal comes out, great, even better. That is where we could load up on positions, right, a little bit more aggressive, but I think that's where we could see more upside as well. All right, so that is the first bonus stock I'll share with you. And now I'll pass on the mic to Bervyn to share, a stock that he likes as well. Right, Bervyn, all yours, go ahead. Bervyn, you're muted. Maybe you can start again, Bervyn.
Hello. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so sorry, I was muted. Yeah, so on my screen here, we have Seatrum. So Seatrum was previously known as Sembcorp Marine, for those of you who have been who are not aware. Okay, so just very clearly, why do I like Seatrum is because of very clear reasons that it has came from or reversed from a downtrend to an uptrend very, very recently, and we are in the very early stages of an uptrend right now. So with the 20 days moving average crossing above the 100 and 200 days moving average, and with right now the 20 days above the 100 and 200 days moving average. So this is a good sign. This is a good sign that the longer term uptrend is forming. Is in the very early stages. I think it just started forming late November. All right, with two 1GT bullish signals that actually came out. So why did the first 1GT bullish signal came out? It was because the trailing. So like we have mentioned, when you're looking at the counter in a downtrend, what you're focusing on is the trailing resistance. So prices had very firmly broke above the trailing resistance in September, and then started to hit higher, flatten out, consolidated a bit, and then we saw another 1GT bullish signal that had actually came out. Why did the second signal came out? It was because prices had broke above this horizontal resistance. So if I were to just turn this off for you and just help you to draw this this horizontal resistance, it would look like this. As previously, prices have tested these levels and finally broke above it. So when it finally broke above, that was a good sign that there is more confidence in the market that it could potentially hit higher. So where would our next upside target be? So I think the next upside target would be around this 240 level, with this 214 or 210 to 215 level being the immediate support. So with that being said, I think if these prices, or if the uptrend can continue, so if prices are able to break firmly above this 240 level, I think potentially we could see upside towards this 260 as the next target level first. So this is why I would like to continue to watch this counter. I think if you want to consider to add this into your watch list, I think this is a good counter that you can actually start to put some alerts on, especially close to the 215 to 210 level, especially if you're looking to get it. All right. Okay. So that is my top stock, or my bonus stock for today. Maybe Z, can you bring us through your bonus stock?
Okay, sure. So my bonus stock for today will be ST Engineering. So this is one of the stocks that I've been putting in my watch list for some time, and I really, really like this stock is because, as you can tell, right, the uptrend is a very steady uptrend. And whenever we look at uptrend, right, and you know that I always talk about like moving averages, right? So those are some of the key things that I always look out for as well. So ideal uptrend definitely will be a 20 days moving average above 100 days and above 200 days. And from this chart for ST Engineering alone, I mean, we all can tell that the uptrend is pretty much very steady, from like July onwards, right, all the way to where we are at now, right? And in an uptrend, one thing that I want to share with you guys is that it's okay to see consolidation phase happening in an uptrend. And when you actually see sideways consolidation happening in an uptrend, right, you should actually be happy, because the thing is that price actually consolidate before pushing even higher. That is better than, price just shoot all the way up and there is no base and there's no support. So right now, over the past few months, right, since September onwards, right, September 2024, we are actually seeing some sideways consolidation happening for this stock. right? And we actually start to see, the 20 days moving average has also started to flatten, then hit down, and then it actually bounced back up above it from the 100 days moving average. So during this sideways consolidation phase, very clearly we can see that, the support level would be at around this $4.40. Why? Because prices actually came back, price actually broke above, right? Went up, tested this resistance at about 480, neared it, came down, went up again, tested it one more time, came back down. This is where we see, buying pressure actually came back in, right, to support the price. So in terms of the sideways consolidation phase, it's always in a range, and the range will always have a support and a resistance. So the support I would say will be around this 440, and the resistance is at about 480, right? And in terms of the trend, we can also see that it's looking pretty good, right? Short-term trend, 20 days moving average is heading up. Longer term trend, 100 days and 200 days moving average are also pointing up. All three are aligned, and that's a good sign. Okay, so let's just turn on the signal and have a look as well. Okay, so in terms of the signal, I mean, of course, over the past year, right, since 2024, even in 2023, we can see that there are multiples 1 GT bullish entry signal that actually came up. Those who got in here, and then if you are still holding all the way until here, congrats to you guys. But I mean, of course, when you actually do see a 1 GT bearish signal coming out, right, it doesn't mean that the stock will crash. You can actually take some partial profits as well, put the money in your pocket. That will be good as well, to boost some of your confidence, right, and continue to ride the uptrend with your balanced position. So as of now, the most recent signal that we see right over here, which actually just appeared on 23rd of January, this is actually a 1 GT bullish signal. And this actually came out, right, because let me just clear this quickly so that it's easier for you guys to see, because prices have actually kind of close above these trailing resistance right over here, which actually triggered this 1 GT bullish signal appearing, right? And just now, remember, we actually drew like a resistance somewhere at 480, which is around here, right? Which is also around here, right? So the thing is that now we actually have a 1 GT bullish signal. All the moving averages are also pointing up. Do you guys think that this is still pretty much a good stop? I would think so, I would think so. And what I'm looking out for, right? What I'm looking out for is prices to be able to hold and break above this 480 for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, to firmly hold above this level, right, to actually see more upside in this counter. So in terms of upside, right, what upside am I looking at? Okay, let me just turn this off first. Okay, so remember just now we draw like a support level around this 440 level, right? So what upside am I looking at if prices were to able to break and hold above this 480? So the upside that I'm looking at is around this 515 to about 520 level right over here. And this is actually done based on a projection because, over the past months, right, 4-5 months, we actually see price consolidated sideways. And what you can do is actually to project upwards. And this is where my targets I would place at around 520. Okay, so this is one of the stocks that you can definitely put in your watch list. And I will definitely be continue monitoring this stock as well. Okay, so that would be for ST Engineering.
All right, thank you so much, Z. I think this stock looks really interesting, guys. I mean, it has been my watch here as well. Thanks to bring it up again, Z. All right, I think just watch the 480, guys. I think 480, like Z mentioned, is a pretty strong resistance level. If we can really, now we are like 479, right? So we're just like below it, but if we can really go above the 480, we go to like 481 or 82, 84, 85. I think that could be a sign of strength. It could be a catalyst that we need to see the next phase. I think the bullish signal that Z shared could potentially play out even further. All right. So Bervyn as well mentioned about Centurion. I think that is a stock that has been on my watch list as well. All right. I think pretty good stock. All right. So you guys want to watch that stock as well. All right. So I think that's it, guys. We've gone on for almost, in fact, more than 2 hours. We've gone on for more than 2 hours. So I think that should be calling it the end. All right. If you guys have got value, so far, let me know. Go ahead to just type V for value, guys, in the chat. If you have got like value in this group code, in this live session, all right, type value. If you have covered your stocks as well, let's see. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the valuable insights. Thank you, Celia, as well. Let me just go to acknowledge all of you. Thanks to Sheng. Good to see you here. I think some of you are like very regular, over here joining us on live. Thank you so much for just spending your time over here. I hope we really covered your stock as well. All right, let's see. Type value, guys. You have gained some value today. Let's see. All right, thank you so much. VBB, thanks KB. All right, thank you guys. Athena, V. All right, Jimmy, Sihong, hi. Alex, Value as well. Saraju, Chongcho, hi. Chow Cho as well. Thank you so much, Steven as well. Okay, very good, guys. I think we have come to the end of today's Ask Me Any Stock live stream, right? So next week would be Chinese New Year. All right, so wishing all of you guys thanks, Andy, excellent. All right, educational as always, appreciate. Thanks, Em, as well. Doris, thank you so much. So wishing all of you happy Chinese New Year. All right, happy Chinese New Year. Have a good time with family, loved ones, catching up, and I think we shall call it a day, right? So yeah, 恭喜发财，身体健康。All right, 万事如意。Bervyn and Zee, your turn.
Most importantly, it's hot.
Yeah, what? I hope everybody have a good Lunar New Year. Enjoy the midweek holiday. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see everyone here again next week. So you can just subscribe and then you will get notified when we go live next week. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I just placed the link in the chat again, as I say, right? Some of those bonus ideas that we share. In fact, we actually shared with our clients in Philip Securities as well. All right, so that is the link. That is the link to find a bit more. If you are not yet a client under me in Philip Securities, you don't get any service, nobody just send you any ideas or what. You're pretty much on your own. It's completely free. All right, there's no additional charge. Check it out. The link is right there. All right, in the chat to find out how you can become a VIP client, get some of those ideas for free. All right, much faster than the time we take to do these live sessions. All right, so that is pretty much it. And same thing, right? To really understand about the entire strategy, the one good trend strategy, and maybe even have access to like an indicator like this that allows you to write gains of I think we have covered some like more than 50%, 60% in a couple of months, right? Attend one of those free webinars, right? We don't have one next week. Maybe next week we have one. We'll just place the link in the chat one final time. All right, and we hope to see you there to find out a little bit more as well. All right, so yeah, that's it. Take care, everyone. Have a good Chinese New Year and
bye.
Bye bye. Bye everyone. Bye. 恭喜发财. Bye bye.